Hi, Annalisa. Thanks for doing this video. Could you share with everybody your name and your current position?
Sure. I'm Annalisa Peterson, and I'm currently working as a healthcare ombudsman mediator at Kaiser Permanente.
And how did you, tell us a little bit about your career path that led you to this position?
Sure. In college, I remember somebody who was working as a mediator for the UN, of all things, came to one of my classes and just talked about their work. And I'd never really, I guess, thought about a mediator before or what a mediator did, and it really piqued my interest. And I remember going back to my dorm room after class and sort of trying to search on the internet for mediator, trying to learn more about it because it just seemed so interesting, trying to kind of think about how people could approach conflict in a productive way. And all I could really find was, do you need a divorce mediator? And I really didn't. So I, interestingly, the next day got this email from a group on campus that was called, Mediators for the Campus Community. And it was a group of students who had formed out of a different class, like kind of a peace studies class. And they were training students to not only mediate disputes between students on campus, but also to go mediate in this small claims court in the neighboring state. And so that was my first exposure to mediation, and it was really fascinating. And after graduation, I applied for a job at the Center for Conflict Resolution in Chicago, and wound up there doing kind of case management and some training, and later directing the mediation services program there. And again, really loved it. And some mentors of mine said, where do you want to go from here? What do you think you want to do? And I said, I don't know, but I still want to work in mediation. This is what I really love to do. I feel like this is something I could be happy doing. I really feel like it's meaningful work to me. And some of those folks really encouraged me to go back to school, and I did wind up getting a joint law degree and master's in dispute resolution from Pepperdine University. And after that point, I worked for an attorney for a few years and paid off those pesky student loans, but knew all along that mediation was really, and ADR was kind of really where my heart was. And from there, I started, while I was working as an attorney, doing some volunteer work as a long-term care ombudsman in Los Angeles County. And from there, applied to do what I'm currently doing, which was this healthcare ombudsman mediator role. And this job is really, it's a little bit different take on mediation, because rather than being an external third party, I work within the medical center, so that when there's some sort of adverse outcome or communication challenge, some sort of conflict that can't sort of initially be solved by the parties involved between patients and physicians or whoever it may be, my job is to try to, be present as a neutral, impartial facilitator, really, to mediate those challenges and help the exchange of information happen to try to resolve conflicts at the earliest possible point, so that people kind of aren't left with the feeling that their only recourse is to file a lawsuit if they want information.
That sounds like amazing work, and definitely utilizes those mediator skills that you have. So you got a lot of advice saying that you should go back to school, and you did choose to go to law school. Would you follow that same advice today, or would you have done things differently now that you've achieved the success in the ADR field?
That's a good question. I wouldn't say I regretted my choice. I think for me, what made the choice to get my law degree something that was of value to me is that I did that concurrent with the master's in dispute resolution. I was really able to kind of join forces and spend a lot of my my free credits studying what I really wanted to study. I guess my training in law has been helpful to me. I think it has actually helped me as a mediator. And so I don't regret it. I think it was a choice I made in part because I was really young, and credibility was and experience were the things I was lacking most. And so I had sort of gotten a lot of experience in the community mediation setting, in the kind of court annex mediation setting, and knew that wasn't what I wanted to do forever. And so it was kind of a way to bridge that gap between how I started and kind of where I wanted to end up. So I wouldn't say I regret it, although it's obviously a big commitment and big choice to make in terms of your time and your money and all of that. So I can kind of see it going either way.
And if somebody were to ask you for your advice, a young individual who is looking to launch their career in ADR, what advice would you give them?
You know, I guess it's similar to the advice that was given to me, and that is think about what you think you want to do, and then really seek out those opportunities. So find people who are kind of doing that, talk to them about how they got there. I know this can be hard to do, but you know, when possible and if necessary, volunteer. You know, if you can't get the experience you need in your main primary paid position, see if you can volunteer to do some of that, just to see if you even like it, number one, and number two, get your foot in the door a little bit and be able to say, actually, I have experience doing this, or I understand this world because I've been able to work alongside people who are doing that work right now. So I think kind of takes, you know, being willing to be a little creative and try to get that experience and entry into those areas of the field you think you're most interested in.
That sense of sort of creativity and entrepreneurship, you know, getting out there and looking at things a little bit differently to find those opportunities is something I'm hearing a lot in these interviews. So I appreciate you sharing your thoughts.
Absolutely.
Well, I think we'll leave it there, and I want to say thank you so much, Annalisa, and congrats on your new baby, and for sharing with us your career path. It's very inspiring.
Thank you, Allison. This is a really great project. I've enjoyed talking with you.
Thanks.